Okay, so I've had the forge up and running for a couple of days now. Had a couple of issues. I built a stand for it. I'm going to put casters on it. This is what it looks like. This is my stand. I got a bar out front for support. Playing with some rebar and fittings. The back of the forge. The legs. My burner. My burner yesterday when I was working, and I had it running about 4.5 hours. And after running several times, this is what my burner looks like. My fitting up here is okay. As you can see, right here is fine. Coming down here to here, right here, I noticed when I looked down my hole the other day that I had propane coming back up this way out of this. And this here was like red, like forging temperature. As you can see, is it is scaled. I've had a whole pile of, I can remove it off here and show you, this coming off of the fitting. This was a cast iron black fitting. It didn't stand up that well. So I'm wondering if I pulled this 8-inch nipple out that's here. So this is an 8-inch nipple. I'm going to pull it out. I'm going to take this off. I am then going to take this 2 feet of black 1-inch pipe and 1.25 inch coupler. And I'm going to cut a 12-inch nipple out of this black pipe. I'm going to thread this end into my venturi, and then I'm going to weld that onto there like that to see if that stops my issue with the problem of the gas coming back up through where it was threaded on, because the inch to 1.25 inch coupling is what caused my problem up here. That, or I'm running my forge way too hot. Like the inside of my forge is going like golden yellow. And I noticed that my fire brick in here, I don't know if it's from what it is exactly, but it has literally melted. Like, I'm gonna have to pull the front off of this. You can see this was getting hot from the heat coming up from the front of here onto the galvanizing, and I know I'm getting fumes off of it. So I'm gonna remove it. I'm gonna take it right off, and I'm gonna put a piece of 1/8 inch steel up there and weld it to the galvanizing, because I like the galvanizing on the rest of it for the simple fact that it's what I had. It was cheap. It's not getting hot because I have my fire brick, here, and then I have kiln brick, and that's the same here. So here I have my fire brick, behind here I have my kiln brick, and I'm trying to keep from damaging the kiln brick because the kiln brick is so light, so porous, you can like sand it, you can cut it with a hand saw, it doesn't take much. And I'm getting good heat on my burner. So what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make some brackets for the front and the top. I'm gonna change it a little bit so I can access this to work on it better. I didn't think it was gonna eat out that fast or eat that bad on this. And you can see where it like burned literally whatever the hell that is that's on top of that pipe off. Like took a whole layer of scale on it. You can see where it started to melt the threads in here and everything. So it looks good. I'm just gonna back up here for a second, go down the shop. Shop's a mess as always. So I'm gonna like So you can see I'm shining a flashlight down the end. The rest of the pipe looks good. That's my orifice down there coming through my venturi. Everything in there looks good. Like it's clean, it's nice, but I am going to lengthen this to see if I don't want the heat to come back up to my venturi and wreck my venturi is a problem. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut from the video here. I'm going to cut the pipe, weld on my 1 1/4 coupler onto the 1-inch pipe. There is some gap. That is not a problem. I'll make that up. It'll be pretty easy. It'll be pretty easy to make the gap up. I can do that. If I have to, I'll even take and I bought a 1-inch coupler as well too. So I have a 1-inch coupler. What I can do is just take the 1-inch coupler and cut, say, that much off the 1-inch coupler, put it on top of here. My pipe will go into there and I can just weld them all together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break right now. I'm going to get this all cut up. I'm going to weld it. You guys don't need to see the welding. Millions of videos on YouTube welding. I don't do anything special than what anybody else does for MIG welding or arc welding. Oxyacetylene, brazing, whatever. There's lots of guys that do it. Something I've been doing for a long time. The forging is something new to me. I am going to try and make a pair of tongs and that here to start making my own tools and stuff. I was just heating rebar and bending and making L brackets like this and hardening them so I can make some like wrought iron brackets and shelving supports and that for around here. So I shall be back in a few minutes and I'll show you the welding and the cleanup and everything else, and then we'll stick it back in, fire it up, and see how it goes. Okay, I quickly thought I'd show this to you. What I've done is I've cut the pipe into two 12-inch nipples. I have cut the 1-inch coupler and ground it down. I'm going to clean up the edges more for welding. But what I am going to do right now is I'm going to run my 1-inch die down this just to get about 2 or 3 threads so I can get it threaded in to this piece that I've cut off, so I can just get it threaded into there, and then I can get the surface down. I'm going to put the factory edge, which I'm going to clean up, down, which will go on top of the 1 1/4 inch, which will go just like that. And I'll weld that up onto there. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to take my one bit that I have and just ream out the threads here a bit. I have a bit attachment for my drill. One of these are a high speed carbon bit, and just put it in, go around and ream that out. Just giving an update. Yeah, and I'm just putting a couple of little threads on here just so that I can get this piece threaded onto it, so I've got it try and get it as straight as I can. I want to achieve as straight as I can. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to thread it on through the back, and because they are taper threads, so I'm going to thread it on through the back, and then I'll weld that up to the pipe, and then I'll weld this once again onto this. And that should give me everything I need to get welded up, and then I'll have this on my end of my burner, and I'll show you when I get back. I'm going to clean these all up as well too. Okay. Okay, so as you can see, I've got it rebuilt, the burner in it. I didn't show the welding or the grinding on it. Set it back up. I'm just firing it up to see what heat I got on it. I tore the front off of the kiln, or the oven, sorry. I didn't like the galvanizing there. I'll find some 1/8 inch or 1/4 inch steel to put on it, and that way I can, I'll feel safer. The galvanized on the rest of it, I'll just leave. It's just a body to hold it. I can pull the bricks out of it and move around. I actually had to pull one of the bricks out. I pulled the fire brick out where I cut the hole in, put the burner through into the inside. It's supposed to be a 2,000 degree brick. I don't think it was. I'm going to look into it because that's the brick I pulled out. As you can see, it's taken, I believe, the silica sand in it and has absolutely almost turned it into gloss. So it melted the brick, opened the hole up on it. It was sagging in there, and I can barely get it out of there. So yeah, so I changed it out. I'm going to look for a different brick. Some of the other bricks I got were a lot heavier, a lot beefier. See how they work out. Oh yeah, this is going to be one of my other projects coming up. I just have a piece of railroad tie for enamel right now, but the post vise somebody took and bastardized it. This is what they've done to it, so I'm going to be cutting off here where the bracket mounts for here, coming across to a flat plate, to an arm I'll bend and everything, and put it there, and then take this all off, grind it, put it back in, and be making a spring for the jaws on the vise again, new springs. So guys, that's everything. My battery's starting to die. Send me a warning. Kiln's up and running again.